So, I went on this bizarre excursion that I can hardly even explain because it was so long and bizarre and it required me literally driving hundreds of miles. But, I don't know, maybe I'll get into that later. But the thing that happened when I was on the highway, um, I saw a car in front of me and it had a really tiny death metal sticker, or black metal sticker on it. And it was so tiny, it was almost kind of ridiculous. Like, why would you put that in the back of your car? Like, put a bumper sticker in the back of your car. Like, don't put a super tiny white little label in the back of your car. But in any case, I obviously was trying to figure it out. And I'm like, what does that say? And it wasn't even so much the font as, like, the size. So, I was following him, and he was in front of me for a while. Like literally, like 20 miles. And I was just right behind him, trying to figure it out. And like I don't want to I don't like tailgating, but I was tailgating him to try to get a look at this thing. And like the other thing that made it so bad is that the car itself was like whitish. So it kind of blended in with that. There wasn't enough contrast. I don't know why he would put that sticker on his car, man. Like you can hardly see it. It's super tiny. It's obviously not made for a car. Like put that shit on your fridge. Like yeah, actually, like, it is really weird that he did that. So, yeah, I kind of tailgated him a bit, trying to figure it out. I couldn't. And then at some point, there was, like, an exit ramp that wasn't my exit ramp, and he went down it. So I was like, God damn it. So I kept following him, and, like, I just kind of, I just wanted it to snap in my brain. Because it kind of, like, even the shape kind of looked familiar. Like, I knew something was there. He finally pulled over at a gas station. And he's not from this, he wasn't from this area, by the way. Like, he's from out of town. Yeah, but I didn't want to, like, just, go over to his car and just start leering at it really closely, because that shit was tiny as hell. So I was just like, hey, man, what band is that? And he was like, Death. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. That's why the shape looks so familiar. So, yeah, I was kind of just like, all right. I don't know. He kind of gave me a weird look because I left without buying anything or buying any gas. So it kind of looked like I just followed him, which is completely accurate. But I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I should have covered my tracks a little bit on that. But, like, the thing with him, though, is that I just don't understand why he did that. Like, I really don't get people's reasoning sometimes. Like, sometimes it seems like they do strange things that don't make any sense, and you just kind of wonder what's in this guy's brain when he slapped a white death metal logo sticker on his white vehicle. Like, why did that seem like a good idea? I don't know. In any case, yeah, I went back, towards the direction I was heading, and I fucking ran out of gas, dude. And like, this is really embarrassing, and this is completely 100% true. And I also have helped someone who ran out of gas before on the side of a road, like 15 years ago in Chicago, and like I remember. Like, I didn't judge them for it, but I remember thinking, how is that possible? Like, how do you run out of gas and not know? Because, like, the needle's going to go down, and then you're just like... And gas prices were insane then. They were fucking nuts, dude. Zoomers have no clue how good they have it. They were so nuts when I was growing up. But, yeah, I get it now. Like, I get it. Because the thing is, I had enough gas for that excursion. I did, and I was completely fine. But following that dude for so long, like, fucked me up by just enough miles. And, yeah, so I wasn't paying attention to the gas, because I just, like, thought it was fine, because I knew it was fine before I left, and I wasn't looking at it anymore. So, that horrible thing happened. I'm doing, like, 95 on the interstate, and then suddenly that lurch happens where you're like, that ain't good. And then, like, you start slowing down, and... I instantly was looking at my speedometer, and my gas meter. I'm like, oh my God, I fucking ran out of gas. And so I pulled over on the side of the road, and like, you know how highways, they're not really scary, but they're fucking terrifying when you're on a shoulder, like still on a shoulder. They're fucking horrifying when you're not driving. They're so loud, and these people are zipping by you, and some cars are going even faster, and it's just crazy. And so I didn't park on the shoulder, I parked on the grass, because like that shit was freaking me out. And I looked to see if I had a gas can. Of course I didn't. Like, I don't even know why I looked. And I fucking checked my, oh my God. I got my phone out of my car and my phone was dead. So I was like, great, this is like horrible. And this is really fucking annoying. But, whatever. So I started doing the hand waving thing, like to flag someone down. And very kindly, a guy did get flagged down that it didn't take very long, like, luckily. So, people are cool. And he was kind of one of those guys where he's like a burly, rugged-looking guy, and you look at him and you're like, he could be like a woodsman, he could be like a farmer. But then you look at his arms, and he has like skull tattoos. Like, he had sleeves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, completely tattooed and all colorful and shit. It was actually really cool. And I was kind of looking at his tattoos, and I was sort of like, some of them, how sometimes a lot of tattoos are just like random artists doing stuff in these tattoo shops, and then some of them are like references, like like not culture, but like pop culture, like media, reference like like a band or a movie or a video game or something, and sometimes you kind of wonder, oh, is that actually a logo or is that just a random diddle? And the one skull, I don't know, I started to wonder if it was actually like a cover of like an album, like a metal album or something. And I kind of wanted to ask him, but my situation was so pathetic and stupid, and my whole situation came from that. So I was like, no, just let it go, man. So he was really nice, by the way, like. And so I was just thanking him over and over again, for being so cool to pull over and just tell him he like saved me and stuff. And I luckily had a couple empty jugs in the back of my car, and so I gave those to him, and he was like, yeah, there's a gas station up there. I'll be back, like just hang tight. And he was like, oh God, you know what else happened, man, that I forgot to mention? Okay, so when I was standing there trying to wave down a car, and they're all passing by and stuff, and then his car, I was so happy because you know how you can kind of tell, like, oh, this person sees me and they're about to pull over because they use like their right turning signal, and they're moving to the right. But dude, let me tell you something. When he did that angled like dive into the shoulder, what felt like breakneck speed, I nearly had a fucking heart attack. Like, and I'm not exaggerating this, man. I literally ran. Like, I felt like I was in the way, and I fucking like jumped and like ran for like 5 feet, cause I honestly thought he was about to hit me. And I don't know if it was like some type of visual illusion type of thing where the car appeared closer than it was. But yeah, dude, that shit was fucking terrifying. I was like, oh, awesome, he's coming. And then I was like, holy shit, dude, don't come that close. But yeah, whatever. So in any case, he was a real nice dude. Didn't make me feel too bad about the situation. Took the jugs, told me to hang tight, went. And, I just kind of hung around and waited, and he came back. And I luckily also had a funnel. And so we poured that shit in. And we just chatted a little bit, and I just couldn't stop thinking of the dude. I honestly couldn't. But, yeah. The other thing that kind of sucked is that I, realized this dude just spent money on gas. And I was like, hey man, can I get your PayPal? And he didn't really understand what I was talking about. Like, I asked him if he used PayPal, and he was like, oh man, don't worry about it. And like, I was like, no, come on, let me compensate you for this. Like, you shouldn't be, this shouldn't be out of your pocket, man. And he's like, nah, it doesn't matter, it's fine. And I'm like, so I go in my wallet, and I only have $2. And it was just so pathetic and sad, because I just looked like such a fucking mess. I offered it to him. I'm like, just take this, like buy a lotto ticket or something, man. Like, and he's like, nah, just don't worry about it. I mean, like, who's that fucking nice, honestly? I just thought that was super cool. And, yeah, it worked out. And I got out of there. And then I came home and drank a bunch of whiskey. Alright, bye.